Hi, 8th graders. So this is Chapter 1, Section 1, Rational Numbers. I'm just going to go through the top part of the notes. I actually filled them out already just to save time. So, a number that can be written as a comparison of two integers expressed as a fraction are called rational numbers. Rational numbers include natural numbers, whole numbers, and integers. And we will talk more about that in the next section. Every rational number can be expressed as a decimal by dividing the numerator by the denominator. So in a fraction, the top number is the numerator, the denominator is the bottom number. You can always divide 3 divided by 4 to figure out what the rational number as a decimal would be. The decimal form of a rational number is called a repeating decimal. We use bar notation to indicate the digit that or group of digits that repeats. So here we have 8.636363. So to write that as a repeating decimal, we would do 8.63 with a bar notation over the top. Okay? If the repeating digit is 0, then the decimal is a terminating decimal. So for example, that would be 75 hundredths. That's technically a terminating decimal because it stops. It doesn't keep going like this one did. Okay? All right, so these are going to be questions you will see on your homework. So example 1 and 2, write each fraction or mixed number as a decimal. Remember, you're doing numerator divided by denominator. So you're going to take, for this one we have 5/8. What that really is going to be is 5 divided by 8. So when we set this up, we're going to do a long division math problem. So I'm going to put 5 underneath the division sign. 8's going to go on the outside. Now 8 goes into 5 0 times. Now remember, the decimal's right here. If we have the decimal here, we have to put it up on top in the exact same spot. So 0 times 8 is 0. We subtract that. We get 5. Now I need to bring more numbers down because we can't have a remainder with decimals. So I'm going to put some zeros here. Bring down the first 0. Now it's 50. 8 goes into 50 6 times. So 8 times 6 is 48. We subtract it. We get 2. Not done yet. Bring down the next 0. 8 goes into 20. 2 times. 8 times 2 is 16. We subtract, we get 4. Not done yet, we can't have a remainder. I'm going to bring down this last 0. Turns into 40. 8 goes into 40 5 times. 8 times 5 is 40. Subtract them, we get 0. So my final answer is 625 thousandths for that one. Okay, moving on to the next one. This time we have -3 and 2/11ths. So to do this, we need to change this to an improper fraction. So we're going to take the whole number and we're going to multiply by the denominator and then add the numerator. So it's kind of a little shorthand of what you're going to do, but obviously I'll do it right here. So -3 times 11 is -33, plus 2 is -35/11ths. We're going to take that and divide it. So we're going to make 35. Now I'm not going to write -35 in my actual problem. I'm going to worry about that at the end. So we're going to take 35 underneath the division sign. 11 goes out here. Remember, the decimal's right here. 11 goes into 35 3 times. Now I'm going to put my negative sign up here. 11 times 3 is 33. Subtract. We get 2 left over. We can't have any left over. I'm going to add some zeros up here. Bring the 0 down. 11 goes into 20. 1 time. 20 minus 11 is 9. Still can't have a remainder, so bring down a 0. 11 goes into 90 8 times. 8 times 11 is 88. 2 left over. Okay, so what are you noticing? We already had 2 left over here. We have it again. So if I did this again, I have a feeling I would get a 9 left over again. So this is going to be a repeating decimal. So I'm going to rewrite this with a bar notation. It's going to be -3 and 18/100ths. All right, so that was changing a fraction to a decimal. Now we're going to change a decimal to a fraction. So we have 45/100ths here. That's exactly what I said, putting it into a fraction. So 45/100ths means we're going to put 45 over 100. I need to simplify that. I can divide both of these by 5. So let's do that. We get 9/20ths, and that cannot be simplified anymore. All right, example 4. We have -7. That's going to be our whole number in front. But now we have 32/100ths. Again, 32 over 100. Both of these are even. That means we can simplify. So we could do by 2, but we could actually go bigger and divide by 4. We end up with -7 and 8/25ths. All right, so that was the front side. Moving on to the back. Now I have to go over this. This example can be very confusing. So I wrote it out just to show you why we do what we do. They want us to write 5/10ths repeating as a fraction. It's a little different than when we do it with regular decimals. So I would love to explain this all to you, but I think it would just confuse you more. So I'm just going to teach you a trick. If you notice, for 5/10ths repeating, the final fraction in simplest form, they just put it over 9. That's all you're doing. After doing all this math with it, you're putting it over 9. So whatever number is repeating goes over the denominator of 9. So if we have 7 repeating, to write that as a fraction, I'm just going to take that 7 and put it over 9. So now it's 7/9. Same thing, it's 1 less than 10 because it's 7/10ths. You're taking 1 from the 10 to make it 9, keeping the 7. Same thing if I was doing it like this. What if we had 58/100ths repeating? Well, normally if this wasn't repeating, we put it over 100. Because it's repeating, we're going to take 1 away, and now it's going to be 58 over 99. So if it has a repeating decimal, bar notation, that number is going to go over either 999, 999, which we're actually going to do right now. If I have 378 thousandths repeating, I'm going to take 378 and put it over 999. Because it is in the thousandths, but because it's repeating, we're going to take 1 away. All right. So that was our lesson today. You do have an assignment on Schoology. So you need to go back to the folder and find the assignment. You have 3 attempts to do it, so take your time, and that is your homework for today.